Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 of this GDevelop tutorial. So we will continue where we stopped last time, but to do a quick recap, we will see what things I covered in the previous session. So first of all, since we are opening the same project again, I will teach you how can you open your own project again, because I have seen, as per my past experiences, that kids usually, they are confused how to open their own project because they really don't know how to access it. So if you remember last time we had saved it on my desktop. So I will click on open a project, and open a project gives you a pop-up option like this where you can simply go back to your own folder wherever you have saved it. And if you see, this folder also by default now has all the sprites or objects that you had used in your game saved along with it. So let's click on the game. The extension is game.json, and then you click on open. There we are. So if you remember last time we stopped here, I showed you, I'll do a quick recap. I showed you this project area, project manager area, where we can add scenes, and I also spoke briefly about game settings and things like that, which we will cover later in depth. We also saw this area objects, and I added two objects. This is the platformer object, if you remember, and this is the platform. Along with this, I also showed you how to change the behavior of the object, and how this platform behavior comes with platformer behavior comes with gravity, jump speed, and everything, and how they play a very important role while creating more realistic sprites for your game. We also saw the another type of behavior through this particular sprite, the platform behavior, and how platform is essential if you have platformer objects, otherwise they will not be able to hold the object. I showed you in my previous video a few scenarios where the dragon simply fell down. So now, to continue with this, and also we really didn't do any code last time, so this class will try to cover up a few codes also to get more information about how to start coding in GDevelop. Now to go ahead with, let's quickly see the preview of what we had finished last time and where we are currently. So this is just a simple, what do we say, a simple thing that I made. I added a sprite which can jump when you press spacebar. Again, I have not coded for this. By default, the sprite has comes with this particular behavior. And then moving to the left, right, like this, using left right arrow keys, and since this is the platform, that's why it's holding the platformer object. So let's go back and continue and add few more things to this. So to start with, I was thinking, why can't we just add few coins over here, and let's see how we can code this dragon collecting the coins. So I'm going to add a new object. As I showed you last time, you have to click on the plus sign here, and since our coin is going to be a part of the code, and is one of the main sprites, I will be choosing sprites and not any other object, and I'm going to just rename this as coins for now, as simple as that. Let me add an animation. You can also draw the coin here simply using circle and colors, etc. But I already have coins which comes with GDevelop. The resources are already there with me. So I am just going to, reuse these few sprites over here. So this is the coin sprite which already, it comes with GDevelop by default. So I'm going to open this and import it. Now, once the coin is here, it's very important, guys, that your sprites must have a transparent background. Otherwise, it will look very weird because your background color will be something else. And the background color of sprites, again, will overlap it and it will look really, really messy. So try to find cleaner and, transparent background sprites for better, good quality games. Again, we don't need to loop this because this is not a kind of moving object, it's a static object. So I'm just going to click on apply. I am not adding any behavior, guys, because technically we are not going to move the coin here and there, or neither the coin is going to hold anything on it. So I'm just going to keep it like that for now. And how do I put this coin on my screen? Same like last time how I showed you, you simply drag and drop, the objects here. And since I want multiple copies, I can simply command C and command V. If you're using Windows laptop, then control C, control V can be used, to do this. I'm going to just add one more quickly. So there we are. Okay, I'll put this little up and here. Okay, so you can add as many as you want. When we proceed, you will see we will keep adding on the same game, and I will teach you a few other things through that. But for now, let's understand this simple logic. And the logic here is that I want that when this dragon touches the coin, it collects the coin. Now, when we say collects the coin, how can we as programmers show this in our game? We can show this in our game by simply coding that when this dragon touches the coin, hide the coin, right? That's the basic logic now I'm thinking. And let's see if this logic works or not. So I will go here and let me teach you how to start coding here. So right now it's completely blank, there are no events, nothing. So if you see this area here, the first one, and when you hover your cursor over it, it will give you a pop-up also, so you know that what this thing is for. So this is add a new empty event. Then this one is for add a comment, which I will explain you later why we use comment. And choose and add an event, that also I will explain you later. But for now, add an empty event is what we are looking at. So I'm going to click add an empty event. Now as soon as I click on this, if you see, there is this row added over here with two columns. This says add condition and this is add action. Now this is how gdevelop works, guys. You need to have a condition, and as we know, our condition here in this case is when dragon collides with the coin, or when the dragon touches the coin. Okay, and the action here is I want to hide the coin to create a feeling to the player that the coin has been collected. So for this, I will just click on add condition. Now please focus, this is a really important part. Once you understand how to deal with this section of GDevelop, your life becomes very easier and you can start exploring more on your own slowly. So let's understand the logic. Coming back to the logic, dragon. So when dragon touches the coin, right? So obviously I will start with the word dragon. So when dragon, I'll click on dragon. As soon as I click on that, I get all these conditions that can be done with this dragon. So either you can search, if you know what are the keywords already in GDevelop, you can either start searching, or you can scroll down and you can figure out and see and learn which particular condition you can add with this. Okay, so now for doing this we use collision. There is nothing called as when dragon touches to a particular other object. So the word over here that is used is collision. So that means when dragon collides with something. So when dragon is in collision, now as soon as you are using the condition of collision, obviously you need to mention with what, right? So in our case, it's colliding with the coin. So I will click on coin, the coin gets selected, and I click on OK. Now if you see here, our condition is ready, as simple as that. Dragon is in collision with the coin. Our condition is ready. Now in action, we will say what should happen when dragon collides with the coin. So let's see how we can add actions over here. Add action. Now in add action, what do I want to do? Think logically. What do I want to do when the dragon has collided with the coin? I want to hide the coin. So I will click on coin and I will see if I have hide option. I can also search, but I can clearly see here it shows hide. So hide the coin and OK. There we are. So as I told you last time, it's always a good practice to, to always go back and preview your own codes and preview your own work, whatever you have done every time, to see whether that particular thing is working or not, rather than doing everything and then checking and then figuring out where the bug is or where the error is. So let's go and preview this. So I'm going to click on this play button or the preview button. And there we are. So I'm going to just move my dragon with the right arrow key. And yes, there we are. It's working. See guys, I am pressing space bar to collect this coin and it's working very nicely like this, right? So that means this particular code is a success and it looks really, really good. So I'm going to close this now. Now let's add another thing. Let's do one thing. Let's add some sound effect also. So how you have seen in other games, normally when some coins are collected, then there is some kind of sound. Now how do I get sound effects? Again, the websites which I'm sharing in description box along with sprites and good backgrounds, you can also find some sound effects from there, and just cite it wherever you're using it. Just cite that you're using this website to find these resources, and acknowledge the resource. It's really important to acknowledge the resources. So that's one thing. And now let's understand how we can add a sound effect as soon as the dragon collides with the coin and collects the coin. So I'm going to keep the condition same because my condition is not changing. What is going to get added over here is another action called as play some kind of sound. So I have already downloaded a sound effect of collecting coin, and you can also go and download it from the website which I have shared in the description box, or any other website that you can find online. There are multiple websites. So add action. Now in this another action, what I want to do is I want to play sound. Now I cannot do anything directly with them. I need to click on other actions, and obviously look for audio. So audio, and in audio play a sound. So of course not a music file, because we are not really going to play a large music file. We are simply playing a quick sound clip. So click on play a sound. Now when you click on play a sound, it will give you option of choose an audio file, or create your own sound. For now, let's just choose an audio file which we have taken from the internet or other sources. Okay, there we are. Now I have saved it somewhere here. Yeah, there here. Coin wave. If you see, this also comes with GDevelop mostly. So I have just taken this. You might be wondering why this format. So mostly on GDevelop, or most of the game development platform, WAV extension is used for audio. So I'm going to click on coin and import it, and there we are. It's ready. Now here it will ask you, do you want to repeat the sound, like put it in loop constantly, or you want it only once? So since in our case, when the coin is collected, we want the sound to only play once every time that coin is collected. So I will not loop it. I will keep this no on. About the volume, we can use numerical value to decide the volume here. So I'm going to simply say 100, because 100% will give me the maximum volume as a programmer. Then later on, players can reduce or increase the volume based on their requirement using the keyboard or the system settings. Pitch. Now I'm not going to really change the pitch over here or add anything, but you know what is pitch, right? So if you have some kind of person talking, or if you have some kind of sound effect where you really want to make it very low or very high pitchy, so in that case you can try this. But for now, let's just leave it like that, and let's go and click on OK. So there we are. So it's not on loop, and it's 100% volume, and this is the sound. When should this happen? When the dragon collides with the coin. So let's go and check in our preview. As I said, every time you should check whether your codes are working or not. So I'm going to just keep my keyboard volume full. I just hope you will be able to hear this while I'm recording it. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so this way, yes, the sound effect is happening, and it's quite good. So I'm going to, you know, reduce the volume a bit because it was too loud for me. Okay, but guys, I don't know if you have observed this or not. When I will take this dragon back, the sound effect is still coming, because what we have coded till now is that when the dragon is in collision with the coin, right? But we are hiding the coin. We are not really removing the coin or deleting the coin from there. The coin is still there. So if you go back and forth, and if you have other conditions or other actions like play a sound or add score, so though the coin is not seen but the coin is still there, And that is why, this thing will keep repeating, and if you had score also, the score will keep randomly increasing, which is obviously an error in this game. This should not happen this way. So what can I do to solve this problem? Instead of clicking on hide the coin, I'll just delete this. I'll add an action that we should delete the object. So when I delete the object, the coin will not really hide, but it will just get deleted from there, and it will no more be there in that particular game for that particular session. So when I test now, then I'm going to reduce this too loud for me. So if you see, it just got collected, though my dragon is there only, but it's not giving me any kind of repetitive sound. Same way, this way, this is much better, guys. So instead of hiding the coin or hiding the object, we should delete it. Otherwise, if there is no sound effect or scoreboard, then there is no problem. You have created the illusion of collection of the coin. But in this case, if you're adding scores and sound effects, then obviously it's going to hamper the game and the code, and it will not work correctly. So this is really important. Now, next thing that today we are going to learn in this particular, session is how should we, change the animation of this character. And when I mean change the animation, that means when I'm using the right key, then it is looking to the right, and when I'm, pressing the left key, it is looking towards the left while walking rather than gliding and facing in the same direction. So for that also, as I said last time, you need to code. And if you see in this edit object, I have already added two animations last time. Animation 0 is walking towards, actually I should name this as walking towards right because he's facing towards right. And this one, I'm just naming it as walk left. Now again, these names are not going to get used anywhere in my code because, as I said, uh, the animation numbers will be used in my coding area, but it's good to just keep understandable names so that it's easy for anyone to understand what things are happening in this game. So let's go to the event area. Let's add a new condition. Now what's my new condition? My new condition is that when the left arrow key is when the left arrow key is pressed, then this character should face towards left while moving towards left. Okay, that means I need to change the animation. So I'm going to click add condition, and obviously the condition this time is with the key because it's on the it's the right key and the left key. So I have to go on keyboard and key pressed, right? Key pressed, because when we are pressing this key, then what should happen? So when key is pressed, so again, if I'm taking when any key is pressed, that's not highly specific. There is it will work with any random key, but we don't want that. We want a specific key to be pressed for this thing to work. So when key is pressed, I can select which key. So normally is the in this case I'm choosing the left arrow key. Okay, the left arrow key, this one, and I'm clicking on OK. So when the left arrow key is pressed, then what should happen? The animation of the dragon, right? So I'm going to go to dragon. The animation of the dragon should change and go to the walk left one. That means the second one in our case. So I'm not, if suppose you're not finding it, you can just try searching it over here. Yes, see, change the animation. So click on this, and when you click on change the animation, there will be mathematical operators where you have to say whether you want to equate it to a particular value or add or subtract. Obviously we want to make it equal to the value of the animation. In our case, it is animation number 1. If you remember, if you don't remember, I'll just I'll show you again 1 second. So if you see here, if I go to edit object, my animation number 1 is walk left and my animation number 0 is walk right. And that's why I wrote 1 over there. So then this one should start playing. Now, let me see if this works because I really believe in this. When you code anything, just check. It's very important to check whether it's working that way or not. See, guys, I'm pressing left key and it quickly turned. But obviously, I have not coded for right key till now, so it is not turning back to right when I'm pressing the right key. So let's go and code for right key as well. So I'm going to add another condition. Obviously, it's a different condition, right? Pressing left is different condition. Pressing right key is different condition. Again, going to other conditions, keyboard, key pressed, and this time right key pressed, and okay. What do I need to do? I need to change the animation of the dragon. So animation of the dragon to, so equal to animation number 0, and then click on OK. Now let's go back and check whether this is working or not. So I'm pressing right key and it's working perfectly fine. Now I'm going to press left key and yes, it turns left. Again, right, left, right, left, right, left. So see, it's so simple. I mean, these small things, they hardly require any coding, but with a very simple basic logic, we can make our game more realistic, more appealing, and in a good working condition. Okay, so that's one problem that I see with this dragon though. If you see, when he's moving left, right, I understand he's like moving. But when he's standing also, he's literally jogging, like jogging at a spot, right? And obviously, we don't want our character to do that until and unless you have a weight loss game and you want them to keep jogging throughout on the spot. So let's go and jokes apart, but let's go and do something for this because this is not correct. I mean, come on, he cannot just be there and keep walking like this. So what I need to do is I need to just say that when the left or the right arrow key is, when we are not pressing it, when we leave the key, then the animation should set in such a way that the dragon is standing in a standing position, a still position. But for that, we need to add an animation for that, right? We just have walking animation right now. We don't have any animation where this guy is just standing, right? It is a walking animation. So let's add another animation where this dragon is simply standing. So I need to go to my folder where I have saved, you know, the character. But if you see, this character is having only the one which I have downloaded has only the walking and dying and these kind of what do we say, skin, you can say. Okay, so what smart thing I'm going to do is over here is I'm going to simply go to let's say left one and animation, not in the death one, in the walk one, because I don't want him to die when he's standing. And I'll simply take this one because this looks like he's standing, right? So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to click on open and okay, and there we are. So I'm not having the multiple skin, this one thing, and no, nothing in loop and all. So this is how it will look in a standing position when the key is not pressed, when he's not actually moving. Similarly, this can be used for this one when he's walking to the right. But when he's walking to the left and he suddenly stops, he should not jump back to the right face. He should be there in the left face, right? So let's add one more animation, and this time let's take the other one. So I have saved it here. Okay, where is it gone? Yeah, there we are. So I'm going to take this one and the first one actually. It looks like he's standing, and then click on open and okay. So this is facing right and standing, just to make it easy for me to understand. And I'm going to command C this and command V, and I'm going to say facing left and standing, okay, and apply. Now I will go back to my events, and what do I need to do is when the left key is pressed, he is obviously looking in the left direction. So in the same condition, in fact after this I can add one more condition, and this time the condition is when the key in the left key is released, obviously, right? Because yeah, so when the left key is released, so what do I need to do? I need to change the animation. So change the animation. Okay, I was in rush, I guess. I should go to other actions, and here I will, sorry, I need to change the animation of the dragon, right? Same like before. So I'll go to dragon and I'll go to animation. Okay, and then set to, and I think it was animation number 3, but I'm not sure. Right now I'm going to put 3 and just confirm once over here, because it should be facing left. So edit object, yeah, animation number 3, and it's facing to the left and it's in still position. So that's correct. Same thing I will do for, add a new event. It's okay if you're adding extra empty events, there's no problem if by mistake you add extra empty events. And go to keyboard and key released, and this time it's the right key, yes, and click on OK, and then actions, sorry, not actions again, what is happening to me? Click on dragon and then choose the animation. Okay, I remember the animation number this time, it's number 2, and then click on OK. Now let's see if this works or not. Okay, so fingers crossed guys, and let's see. So I'm going to walk a little bit, collect the coin, and then see. I'm not walking. I left the keys, but he's standing exactly over there, looking as if, giving a feel that he's standing at a place and not really jogging at a place. So it's successfully done. Let's try the other one. So I'm going to press left key. Oh wow. So whenever I'm pressing left key, it's actually working. And when I press right key and I leave it, left key, right key, basically when I'm leaving it, it's actually giving me that kind of, illusion that he's not walking now, he's not, so I think, wow, that was good, that was successfully done. So guys, I hope you understood that coding in GDevelop is not difficult. With simple logic, with simple efforts, and of course a lot of exploration and practice, you will, it's very easy to code over here, and you can create amazing games, right? You can create amazing games. One more thing in that I will like to cover in this tutorial, and then I will wind up with this tutorial, is um, right now by default the background which comes with this GDevelop is this color. But suppose if you don't want this color, you want to change the color, so you can simply right click anywhere on the scene, go to scene properties, and then over here there is this option called as scene background color. Just change the color from here. Okay, so let's say I want to choose this blue color. Okay, I love blue color. That's the reason you will see most of the times I will end up adding blue color everywhere. So yeah, and then see, it looks different, right? It looks more, I mean, I love it because I love blue color. And wow, yay. See, our game is working very nicely till now, whatever we have coded. So guys, I hope you learned a lot today. Very simple codes can make amazing things. It's the logic that you need to apply. It's the exploration and practice and curiosity that you need to understand GDevelop. It's not difficult. So I remember some people telling me that, it's very difficult to do GDevelop. No, it's not. It's just more of practice, and you will be sorted. Okay, so I'll see you next time in next tutorial part 3, where I will be teaching you how to add a scoreboard. Okay, so to do a quick revision, what we learned today, we added new sprite, and then we learned how we should hide, not hide, but we should delete the objects if we are going to add sound effects, or if we are going to add score for that. Otherwise the sprite is already there and it can be repetitively clicked. This was very interesting. So how we started changing the animations based on key pressed or key released. Okay, and I hope you understood this well. If you have any queries, if you want to learn something new which I haven't covered till now, I will be surely covering a lot after this also. But if in case if you have any queries, please write in the comment section so that I can make videos on those things, and which can help you further when you are exploring GDevelop or making games on GDevelop. So for today, bye guys, have a good day, take care, see you in part 3.